All right, guys, let's be real for a minute. You've got the right to be comfortable in whatever you're wearing, no matter what you're doing. That is where Public Rec comes in. Their pants are designed to be as comfortable as your favorite sweats, but way more stylish. We're talking super soft fabric, no stiff seams, and enough stretch. That's what allows you to keep up with no matter what your day throws at you. And you want to know my personal favorite part about Public Rec? Generally, you only get to choose between small, medium, large, extra large sizes. With Public Rec, you select the exact width and length that you need. These will be your best fitting pants. Public Rec not only has the best fitting pants ever made, but they have a huge selection of high quality, everyday, premium styles. You can revamp your entire wardrobe with their polos, shorts, and hoodies. So this February, I encourage you to step up your comfort game with Public Rec. You know, it's about time that you treat yourself. For a limited time, all my listeners can get 20% off their order at publicrec.com by simply using code Sonnen. When you get there, tell them Chael sent you.
Eye pokes in the sport of MMA. You know, I gotta tell you, as far as topics that were around 10 years ago that I never, ever would have predicted would still exist. For one, it's a painfully boring topic. Now, that's easy to say until you're the poor guy that gets poked in the eye. Like the pain of that in the amount that could interfere in a fight is more surmountable than any other foul that I can think of. I will concede to that, but I also don't get it, right? And I understand. I'm like anybody else who goes, well, I would never do that, or I've never had that done, and therefore you don't think other people should either. But truly, I would never do that. And I've never had that done, and there's not one guy fighting today that's gone half as many rounds as I have. I fought for 22 years as a professional, 51 men. But you must understand, 5 days a week we sparred. That was very unique at Team Quest. That's very unique by today's standards, where most guys are sparring up to twice a week, and every gym spars on Saturdays, whether they add a day on top of that. And I'm just sharing with you, of all those rounds, of all that sparring, of all those fights, whether it was practice room fights or competitions fights, I never touched anybody's eye. It never happened. So, what is it about my hand? Why does my hand not go into the eye? And we got you ever see guys shadow box? They look something like this. Look something like this. They got like their pinkies out, or even their thumbs out, and they're in their shadow boxing. It would be nice if a coach told them to close your hand when you shadow box. There should never be a guy that was out sparring and punching around like this, like the dude in the movies. They should be making a fist, but let's say they don't. Can we force them? Can we force them to close their hand with a type of glove? Of course. Of course we could. If we put these guys, now let's just go on the really far end of it, but let's just say if we put these guys in boxing gloves. Could we put them in boxing gloves and still be doing MMA? Yes, of course. Is there one single technique that would be meaningfully obstructed if they were in a boxing glove? No. No, there's not. And I will tell you, because some of that is just personal belief. There's a number of people that would not agree with me. But I can remember being in the practice room, and we put on the big gloves. And when you put on the big gloves, in some practice rooms, that meant you were just going to kickbox to a takedown. If you ever got a takedown because you have the big gloves on, you come back because you can't spar on the ground. He can't submit, you can't pass, you can't pin things down. They would only allow you to spar in certain gyms that I've been to, full spar MMA, when you were wearing the little gloves, the grappling gloves. And I'm just here to tell you, it's not true at all. It's not 1% true. You can do a full spar with boxing gloves on. There is nothing that you've got to grab with your hand that you can't inadvertently just trap. Now, I bring that up because you would be stunned how many people agree with me. You would be stunned how many people in MMA could not possibly care less if you had on a big glove or no glove at all as far as the technique goes. They will argue, like me, 100% of the techniques that you can do with no glove, 100% you can do with your hand as a fist trapped inside of a boxing glove. Now, you will have some outliers. You have some outliers say, man, that's just not true. The way I grab, the way I grip, it's absolutely different, and it would greatly impair me. And I have my own reasons for coming to this experience. When I was wrestling, I never had any injuries. I was very lucky, except my fingers. I had shattered my thumbs, and then every day I had to tape my thumb to my hand, and these fingers are always broken. So I would wrestle for many years, and it was basically just a ball. My hand was just a ball. So perhaps I learned to do some of these things. Or perhaps I wasn't as good and skilled. And that's why, because I didn't understand how to use and grip with my hand. Those things are all possible. But I've never seen it, guys. Not only have I not experienced it, I have never in my life seen it. I have seen the best of the best of the best spar. And never did it impact. Never did a guy win a round in sparring. But he would not have won the round if they were wearing different gloves. Never in the history of excuse making of practice rooms have I even ever heard somebody suggest such a thing. Even suggest it. Well, he got the best of me, but I got really confident, I'm going to fight him. And, we worked out. We're partners 2 years ago, but it was different. We were wearing those big gloves. And now we're going to go out there and we're going to be in those 4-ounce gloves. I really think that's going to be the difference maker. Like, that conversation has never happened. So, what are we trying to do? If we're trying to talk about talking, if we're having meetings about meeting, if we're doing nothing, if we're doing government work, where we're just chasing our tail, but that's all that we intend to do is to put on a show, not to actually achieve it. Okay, great. Keep going down this path. It's no problem. If you want to solve eye pokes today, cover the glove. There is a glove that will cover the fingertips. If your finger goes straight, it's still a rounded glove. And there's no extent where that ends. You can cover the fist completely like a boxing glove. You're still doing the sport of MMA. Anybody that heard this and disputes me, just go, well, Chael, I've got a different experience than you. Well, have you ever lost a round in sparring? And ever thought in your heart or mind, ever, even once, I would have run that round in sparring. That would have been different had I been wearing different gloves. And the answer is no. In the world of excuse making, there really is no end here. But we really need to either punish. If you want something to go away, you punish it different. There's only 2 rules in the sport. Don't kick the son of a bitch when he's down, and don't poke him in the eye. If you do either, it's a disqualification, or quit talking about it and accept that it's part of the sport.